Welcome back to the Vertu YouTube channel. Now Kia, they're pretty good at creating SUVs. I love the Sportage. The Sorento has gone down very, very well. But now we're in the EV market, and this, the EV3, is Kia's latest assault on that crowded electric SUV market. Is it better than all the others? Well, stick with us and we'll find out. First of all, let's talk about money. This Kia EV3 can set you back £36,055. That is today, as the day of filming, from a Vertu dealership for an entry-level model. Okay, let's talk about the actual drive, because I've got the GT Line S model. But just because I've got the top of the range model doesn't mean that I've got any more power. This is 204 brake horsepower, and it gets you to 60 miles per hour in around about 7.9 seconds. Now, that is not exactly express quick. It's not that fast compared to some of the other electric SUVs and electric saloons that are out there, because let's face it, when you put your foot down in those, you are getting pushed back into the headrest. And this doesn't do that. This is much more aimed at the family man or woman looking to cart their children around to school very, very comfortably, and it is absolutely ideal for that. Now, the reason it's ideal for that, because this is perfect for in-town driving. As you can hear, the driving assist assists you all the way around. I've got my, it beeps at you quite a bit, so do adjust it accordingly before your journey, because I've got lots of assisted braking, assisted lane assist, I've got blind spot assist as well. I've got everything that I could need. But the reason it's really good around town is because this has got a turning circle of 10.4 meters. Now that is up there with some hatchbacks that we've driven. The Vauxhall Astra springs to mind. You know, we did the Corsa and the Fiesta. They're only a little bit better. You know what I mean? This is a SUV. It's a fully fledged SUV. Look at the thing. It is really, really got some presence on the road. But the fact that it turns around in 10.4 meters is really, really impressive. Also, the reason this might be the EV of choice is because the book will suggest that it will get you 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour in terms of efficiency. Again, that's pretty good in comparison to the rest of the market. We're looking at mid threes, maybe sort of late threes, 3.8s, whatever. So anything over 4 is pretty good. Obviously, real world stuff, we know that efficiency can be a little bit different to what the book suggests. So yeah, once you've driven it around, you'll get more of an indication. But yeah, as I'm driving today as well, visibility, very, very good. Got a massive screen here that I've not got a problem with. There's no blockage or anything like that. I'd say the view out the rear view mirror isn't the biggest or the best, but you know, it is pretty good up front here, so visibility is not an issue. And yeah, it's just a very, very nice car to drive. The steering is so light, so responsive, very, very sharp. All those very good words to describe the steering apply with this Kia EV3. Now, the weight of the car might not be of interest, but we drove the L-Rock recently, and that was over 2 tonnes, like 2.2 tonnes. This is just under, so it's 1.8 tonnes, and it does feel a little bit more nimble. As I mentioned, turning circle, steering, it all goes into this Kia EV3 just being a drive of pure comfort, and I think it actually is. The seats actually hug me, and actually, if I was thrust back into the headrest, I've got this nice little cushion here behind my head. Very, very nice indeed. Now, let's talk about all the pretty important stuff, the charging and electricness of this car. Let's go through it. So the entry level has a 58 kilowatt hour battery, but the GT Line and GT Line S come with an 81 kilowatt hour battery, and the range is claimed to be from Kia at 360 odd miles on the range, which again is very, very impressive. What that looks like in the real world when you are navigating towns and country roads and all that sort of stuff is yet to see. I should imagine it's going to be a little bit less than that, but that is still a pretty good range. In terms of charging time, now you're armed with a 150 kilowatt charger that will get you a 10 to 80% charge in around about 31 minutes. Now that's not the quickest out there. I mean, for example, we had the L-Rock, as I mentioned, that Skoda have. That's looking at around about 20, sort of mid-20s in terms of 25 minutes, 26 minutes. We also had the super fast charging Mercedes the other week claiming that it could do it in 18 minutes. So yeah, it's not the fastest, but it's certainly not the slowest. Right, now we've driven it, let's talk about the design of it, because we do judge with our eyes after all, and I think it looks really nice. A lot of these EV SUVs are going the same way. A lot of aerodynamic sort of design at the front, a little bit of air intake there, sort of showing off a little bit. I do like the lights. I really like the lights on these. I think they look particularly nice. And yeah, it is a very, very nice designed car. This is a little bit boxy, I guess a little bit like the Hyundai Santa Fe. I remember when that first came out, I was a little bit like, oh, I'm not so sure. Now I look at all these EV SUVs with envious eyes. I really want one. But I think it looks really, really nice. Go around the back as well on the side. It looks a very substantial SUV, almost not the crossover. It looks like it's actually got a little bit of road presence, which I really like. The wheels, now these are 19-inch, the entry-level model comes with 17s, obviously going up to 18s, and 19-inch on this GT Line S model. And I particularly like the black accents on this. We've got a little bit of black wheel arch, side skirts, we've got the sort of roof bars as well, with the black roof, with this pistachio green colour, but that's not the only colour it comes in. Okay, there's a lot of colours, so I'm going to read them, and then we're going to show you them, aren't we? Yes, we are. He shook his head. He's going to show you them. There's sunset orange. There's pistachio green. There's shale grey, frost blue, white pearl, lithium silver, and midnight black. The back of this, like I said, substantial. It looks really, really nice. Got this little bit of a spoiler there, almost suggesting that I'm sporty, but it's not particularly sporty looking car. And the big black rear diffuser. I really quite like that. But let's go on to the boot, because this is a family car and we need to see how it stacks up against the opposition. And I would say straight away, very, very good. It does stack up to the opposition. 460 litres of boot space. That is better than a lot of competitors. We've got this sort of wipe clean option there for you in the boot. But if you don't want that, you put that to one side, probably in your garage, and you probably lose it. Hopefully not. There's a little bit of under floor sort of storage there, so that's the actual full 460 litres. You've got your charging cables, lots of space under there as well, but look, you've got this flat floor, absolutely perfect. Low load lip issues there, absolutely love that. And you've got this sort of parcel shelf as well that sits there, retractable, and I just think it's a really big, large space. There's a little bit of a cubby hole there for you. There's some hooks in places. But the good news is 60-40 split on the seats, and you can put them down so easily via that little clip, and you don't have to go round the front. And that is as flat as a pancake in there, pretty much. Have a look at that. Right, we've just been for a drive, so getting acclimatised with the interior has been pretty easy, and it is really, really nice in here. Actually, let's start with the infotainment system. I'll go through the hard plastic test in a minute. I'm really impressed with it. It is so responsive, no lag whatsoever. It's really easy to use. Kia have kept things pretty simple. I've also got buttons for my climate control, so I don't have to operate it on here. As well, I've got a little bit of a volume sort of scroller there, and the good thing about the infotainment system is split down the middle. I've got a nice big driver display as well, so that is really, really good. And a lot of electric SUVs that we've done don't necessarily have a very big driver display. I've got that. I've also got heads-up display in this GT Line S, and bear in mind this is the top of the range model, but good news for those people looking to make this their next SUV. You get a lot as standard, which I'll come on to in a minute, and I'll talk about the trim levels. But yes, a little bit about more about this, other than the infotainment system being fantastic. Obviously Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless as well, has just been proven by the cameraman playing stuff through when he shouldn't be. But yes, absolutely perfect. We've got YouTube on there as well, so it is a really, really good infotainment system. Let's talk about materials in here. Now, this is actually, I thought it was going to be hard plastic, but it's actually textured. And we've got on the door here, we've got our heated seats and heated steering wheel to be operated over here. I can operate the passenger's stuff over there, or the passenger can control it as well. Ventilated seats as well. So yeah, that is really, really quite cool. I like the fact that it's there. Mercedes put the seat controls and stuff over there, so why not? Kia are taking a leaf out of their book. I really like the combo in terms of the colours, and like I say, the bit of hard plastic on the dash, but there is some nice materials here on the dash as well, so we'll forgive it a little bit. And we've got lots of sort of little chrome effect bits as well to try and disguise it as not hard plastic. It is, but it's still a very, very nice place to be. As I was saying, we've got that pistachio sort of green exterior paintwork, and then we've got the cream and grey combo on the inside with the seats, full leather GT line seats here. Very, very comfortable, but look really, really nice. And the steering wheel's the same, looks really nice. I've got my drive mode here. I've also got it here as well, so if I want to flip into sport mode, I can do it by the steering wheel. And I've got buttons. I've got my cruise control on here, I've got my voice activation system. I've got everything on there as well. But yeah, in terms of interior, I'm pretty happy, very comfortable, and it looks really nice. Right, let's talk about those trim levels. We have the Air, we have the GT line, and we have the GT line S. But good news, as I was saying, as standard, you get adaptive cruise control, you get heated seats, and you also get the heated steering wheel as standard. You do not have to climb the levels, which is not a given. There is a lot of manufacturers out there that make you go to the top of the range for those things. Worth mentioning though, on the GT Line S, you do get a 360 camera, you do get an upgraded Harman Kardon sound system, and you do get heated rear seats as well for your passengers in the back. Okay, let's talk storage, because there's plenty of room for it here. I've got my wireless charging pad. Again, that comes from the GT Line and GT Line S models as standard, so that's really quite cool. I've got two cup holders down here that go into this really big storage area here. And the cup holders as well, you push the button there to lock your cup in place, or your bottle, and then you just click them back. So that is really quite cool, very, very nice. Leaves it for this sort of open area for storage, where I've got my USB-C charging points there. I've got two of them as well, and then I've got this other tray just on top. So you get a lot of these two-tiered center consoles. You've got a tray underneath the registry, so this is no different, just a little bit of a different design. Quite open, this one. Yeah, I've got another tray here with another little cubby there as well to put some bits in. So yeah, and nothing really comes out or anything. There's no sort of removable bins or anything like that, because I find them a little bit of a faff. So yeah, plenty of storage here. I've got a door bin over here that's adequate. I've got one over there, obviously, and I've got a glove box that is pretty, I'd say, on the small side, but I'm pretty happy when it comes to storage. Okay, in the back, I am quite pleased with how much space I've got. I've seen on a few reviews of this car that they're saying it's a little bit cramped up the back, and I do see what they mean a little bit, but I'm sat here now, and I've got more than enough room than I've got on some SUVs that we've done, and that's my driving position, and my feet actually go under the seat, which is hard when it comes to these electric SUVs, because they've got a flat floor for a reason. They're obviously raised, we've got batteries and bits under there and all that sort of stuff, so no, they've done quite well there. In terms of storage as well, look, instead of this sort of seat pocket, I've got this retractable sort of seat pocket here that's plastic. They've gone against the sort of leather pocket. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Things I like about it though, my heated rear seats in this GT Line S, it's there for all to see, so I can keep a warm bum just like the driver and the passenger, and it's a very, very comfortable place to be. We've got the full leather interior. We've got isofix points here. Interestingly though, Kia have not opted for isofix points on the passenger seats, so you cannot have your child up front with you. They have to be in the back, but very accessible, very, very easy for that. Couple things I do like what they've done in the back here. The USB-C charging points are just on the side of the seat here. I really quite like that. You don't have to go down here into this console. There's a little bit of extra storage there and a couple of vents. So I really quite like them. Very accessible, very cool. Also, the seat belts as well. They've got a little point where they can sort of plug in instead of rattling around, and they're well out the way when you put your seats down. They're not going to get stuck behind the seat. So they've thought of us there. So there we go. I quite like the back. I'm quite happy. Yeah, I'm going to put these heated seats on because it's a bit chilly. There we go. That is the Kia EV3 done. Now, what do I think of it? Well, I think we're going to see a lot on UK roads because it is a very nice looking thing. It is very comfortable and it drives perfectly, I would say. However, it's not express quick. So if you're looking for something rapid off the line, there's plenty out there that will do the trick. But this Kia has a lot going for it, and they just make very nice cars. But do not take my word for it. Get down to a Vertu Kia dealership and test drive it yourself, and then possibly you could be the owner of a Kia EV3. We will see you very, very soon for the next car.